Today we're going to take a tour of my backyard landscaping. Another one of my favorite hobbies is doing landscape and mowing the yard and doing yard work. Really consumes me in the summertime, but it's something I really enjoy and I'm pretty passionate about. So I'm going to take a little tour here of my backyard and show all the plant material I have and my basic landscape layout. So this is a large aloe plant that I have here in a pot that I've had for quite a few years, and you can see how many babies I have there coming out of the main one there. And this thing sometimes blooms, which kind of blows me away. It's a strange looking bloom. I've never seen one bloom before, but right now it's not showing one. So not everything in my landscape here is blooming, but some of it is. It's early spring, so some of the things are blooming. So let's take a look over here. This is something I really like here. It's an oleander, and there's two of them there, and if you notice, there's two different colors. And that is really a pretty tree. It is a little bit messy. It drops some leaves down occasionally, but there's two of them planted there, and they're really actually probably a little too close together. You can kind of see how big they are at the bottom. And they're growing out kind of strange because I got them too close together. I didn't realize, I guess, when I planted them how big they were going to get. But it's something I really like, and they have a pretty flower on them. And they don't have much fragrance, if any, to them. And this little path here goes around to the front of the house, and I have just on the other side of the fence there, I have a bottle brush. It's kind of shaped into a tree, and hummingbirds really like that thing. We have a lot of hummingbirds coming to it. And then I got a little bird feeder there, so we're having quite a few birds this year. And so if you go on over around here, the whole backyard is fenced with a privacy fence, and it's a small little storage building here that I built. And you notice these things here, right now they're not in bloom, but a little later in the spring and then all summer long, these things will be blooming a small little yellow flower. It'll be covered with them. And these are Thryallis. These are really a nice plant. And all I do is cut them down about halfway down, about knee high or so in the fall. And then they come out really nice in the spring. And they get up taller than the building here. That right there is a little PVC birdhouse, but the birds don't go in it, so I don't know what's going on with it. Somebody gave it to me. I like it, it's just that birds don't tend to be attracted to it too much. Alright, if you're going around here, right here you'll see a crepe myrtle. That's a black diamond crepe myrtle. That's a really pretty bush when it blooms, and I'm going to let it get on up pretty high. I'm thinking about actually planting a few more. It has a deep red looking bloom to it, and the foliage is nearly black. That is when it really gets going. And then back in the corner there, I planted a maple tree which died on me, and I'm not sure why. But I'm thinking about removing that and going ahead and maybe put two more of these black diamonds in, because they'll look nice back here. And right in here, I've never really done anything with my grass. I've basically just got weeds, and I just mow it and kind of let it go. But I'm going to be doing something back in this corner eventually. And if you look here next to my building, I got a row of juniper. These grow really good. They don't require a lot of water. They like the sandy soil. They do really well. Now check this thing here out. It looks like it might have a little bit of fungus problem or something. But this is a silver button. It has little blooms on it. They grow really good down in South Florida. I've seen some really big ones. This one here, the winter kind of bites it back, because we're in Northeast Florida, and every once in a while we get some frost. This year we didn't have anything for a winter at all. So it's looking okay, but it seems like it might have a little problem with some sort of a fungus. I'm not sure. If anybody knows what's wrong with that, let me know, but it doesn't look very healthy to me. Okay, and then if you here in front of my garage, I got this thing. This was given to me years ago from my neighbor, just a little starter of it, and it's turned into a pretty good sized bush. This is a yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and it'll bloom a couple times in the year, earlier in the spring, and then sometime in the summer it'll bloom again. It gets covered with white, blue, and light blue flowers. Here's a couple that are left here. This is a white one. And like I said, there's a light blue and then a blue that covers the whole thing. It's all three colors at once. And they call it yesterday, today, and tomorrow, I heard, because the dark blue comes out first, then it turns light blue, then it turns white, and then it drops off the bush. And I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it could be. But it's an awesome looking flower or plant when it's all bloomed out and everything. And there's not much to do to it. It likes a sandy soil. I don't put much water on it. I do put a little fertilizer on it in the spring, but that's about all I do. And then underneath you'll start getting a lot of babies coming up. If you'll notice, there may be one right there, I think. You can see it coming up. And you can just pull that up and stick it in the ground somewhere else, and it'll take off. Real easy. It doesn't take much to take care of this one. Okay, and over here got a couple rows of Loropetalum. These things are pretty. They bloom a small little pinkish looking flower, and a little later in the spring and summer these will start to darken up a little bit and get a little more color to them, and I just keep them like a hedge. Got them around my walkway here. They're fairly wide. I have a hedge trimmer like on a pole, and I can go right across there and just cut them. They get going pretty good in the summer. They look pretty nice. If you notice right down here, got a little timer with some sprinklers on it. That's how I irrigate them. Just comes off my well, and that thing turns on. I think I got it every day. It comes on, it just waters them. Okay, now I got a trellis. Check this thing out. This is a Confederate jasmine. It's quite fragrant. There's two plants actually on each side. It's been here for probably 10 years. Has really a nice smell to it. It's covered with these blooms. You see it's actually come up and just made a tunnel right over, and you have to walk through here to go in and out of the house. It's really kind of a neat looking plant. Same thing with this. You take the hedgers and just keep it trimmed back, otherwise it'll just start piling up on top of each other. Now check out those blooms. I mean, this thing smells pretty loud sometimes. Alright, now across the back of the house I've got these hedges here. I really like the way these look. It offers a little shielding to keep mud from spattering up on the house when we get the rain. I do have a gutter up above, but sometimes it gets swamped and the water will spill over. When it does, it just filters out down through these shrubs, and it doesn't cause any spattering of mud or anything up on my screen. These are Yaupon holly, and I keep them hedged with a small gas-powered Echo hedge trimmer. I just get them just right, and I love doing hedges, and I get them really smooth. And I can tell you that one little slip, you can really screw these things up, make a big divot out in them, make them ugly. So I've got them all along the back here. Then over here across the back of the house we've got African iris. They bloom really nice. It's like you don't get that many blooms, but it looks like it has more than it actually has. When they bloom, it's just the flowers come up pretty high, and it looks like you have more blooms than what's actually there. It's kind of an interesting plant. And then these guys here, I believe these are called ginger lilies. Me and my wife dug these up out of the woods, and they come up pretty high, almost as high high as the roof here on the porch, and they'll bloom, kind of a white flower, and they're fragrant. They smell good. And going along the side of the house here, this is a hydrangea, and I think this was predominantly pink, and it depends on the acidity of the soil what color it is, so you can change the color of it just by adding some Epsom salts or changing the acidity of the soil. And I have an old bird bath here. I've had this for years, a variegated ivy in that. You know, this year we haven't done anything with this bed. All these are just leftover things from last year. I do have 2 crepe myrtles, and they're starting to come out. I trimmed them back in the fall, and they're real pretty. I think one of the colors is watermelon and one might be cotton candy, something like that. And this is an angel trumpet my neighbor gave me, just a little starting of, and it's starting to turn into a pretty good sized tree. And you can see I got a bloom on one. It's a nice looking bloom. They do snap off easy. Sometimes the wind will snap this thing off, but they're easy to get them started again. They like water, and they're kind of tender. So I mean, any little breeze sometimes will break off a branch. Now across the back here, I got the sago palms. I'm not really so crazy about them, but they are kind of an interesting plant. And every single year, this one over here blooms, and it's just starting to bloom now. This is, I think, is a male, and that stem, that mound you see there in the middle, will come up higher than the fronds. A big old tall bloom will come up, and then it'll die off. So we still got some work to do back here in the back. We're gonna have to mulch this area. I've already done some fertilizing. Here's another shot of the lower petalums. They're pretty nice. When they get going, you don't see all the holes out in them. They get more dense and the foliage gets darker. So that's about it for the backyard landscape. Just thought I'd share that. People that enjoy this hobby like I do might appreciate it. Thanks for watching.